You know, it's very important to make a will because not only does it affect your wishes from beyond the grave, but then it also ensures that all your descendants are covered the way that you have intended it to become. So I cannot stress the importance of a will because like Upundonto is saying, we've faced situations in our offices where there is so much infighting.
Qhakaza, Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza, Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza, Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza, Qhakaza. Qhakaza, Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza, Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza, Mntase sithi Mntase Qhakaza. Qhakaza, Qhakaza.
I am CJ Audrey Nelana. And welcome to another episode of Qhakaza Mntase.
Yeah.
Because kaloku ningabantase nini.
Yeah, bangathi udlala nansi yamazi undola like yakhe. Congrats.
Just before we get into the show, first and foremost, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Ntona ndingabisanga
Kwanto nje mhlobo wami into esilo ndiyithetha ke mbukeli into kokuba xa ugqibela ulike ushare uthi yonke laa nto xa lomnye nomnye bamakayogroba kwela khasi.
Exactly. So don't forget to follow us on TAF TAF and then TAF.East Cape and also Qhakaza Mntase. With that said, we would like to say enkosi kwi-sponsors zethu u-X-Rail Studios, u-Evolve, u-Captain Joe's, Sophistic Furnitures,
Dibala ntoni na? Phanda Mzansi, Silver Lutho Technologies, Smart Diva.
Very important, John. City enkosi. And we want to also celebrate that we are so close to 600,000 followers on our Facebook page. So City, thank you guys so much and keep on sharing and spreading the word. But namhlanje
Sitengos.
Hey, Sitengos. Enkosi by Ace.
Sure.
Just putting it out there. With that said,
Sure.
I'm not the only girl on the show today.
Oh,
Yes, I am not the only black excellence.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I am not the only. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important. Very important. With us today, you guys also know that we never walk alone. So today is Slender Vanindot.
Sihleli neqhayazana isigqamama.
Oh wow.
Inzwakazi enomkhitha. Yathi ngenza ibhomu yazi. Ndithi le inzwakazi ethe qhaka enomkhitha.
Yo guys.
Makhwe.
In fact, ndiyablasha yeah.
Asikamkele nkubeni Qhakaza Mntase.
Mandibulele oqala for having me. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yeah.
My name is Anelisa Gqulu. I hail from the dusty streets of Mntase.
Right.
Born and bred.
Kutheni sizaba dusty?
Because ndikhule ndidlala phandle mina ndikhule ndiyi-RAF kid edlala phandle edlala ibhola so bendiyi-tomboy in actual fact ukukhula kwam so I enjoy the company of gentlemen or boys when I was growing up before
and Zuku.
No, I know how to pack a punch if that's what you're asking.
Zuku after the show.
No, don't worry. I'll help you out. I'll hook you up. Sure. So I grew up in a family of 2 other siblings. Okay. With a single mom. And because all the single ladies, yes, that was my mom. She was doing the best. And because of circumstances, I was fortunate enough to attend good schools. I started my schooling up in Monti. I attended Grens at some point. Advanced for
that's
Life. I went to Kunubi Primary, and then I moved to Mntase for like 4 years. And then with my mom's passing, in 2007, I had to come back to East London to live with some family relatives. And that's where I was fortunate enough to go to Clarendon Girls.
Oh.
Yes, that's my alma mater.
Ukhona omnye umuntu obethebe oyiguy wena Ntonto.
Ndafunda phaa mna.
Into endizithethayo ku-social media.
It's not about brandy, guys. It's a very. We used to play against you guys.
Yes, and I think we beat you guys every single time.
No,
because Clarendon is the
okay.
best school. But anyway, that's
This is
not
not
the point.
guys. I will always defend my high school. But when it comes to sports, we will have this discussion after the show.
Oh, wow.
We will have this discussion after the show.
Then after matriculating in the Walter Sisulu Mntase,
Sure.
where I did my LLB. I graduated 2016.
Wait. Please tell Ntonto what's an LLB.
Oh, an LLB is a law degree. So I graduated with my LLB in 2016.
Are you a beggar, Chomi?
Sure.
It's not a beggar.
And I guess again I'll say because of fortune, or rather let me say God's favor on my life. One thing I forgot to mention, I am born again.
Amen.
Saved.
Fana
Yes.
Ntonto.
Yes, I'm saved. I love the Lord very much.
Hallelujah.
And I always say, and I account everything to Him, because I feel had He not been there, some things would not have worked out the way that they did.
Yeah.
In 2014, I was doing what was supposed to be my final year.
Sure.
And I met, through a family relative, a businessman in Mntase who also was an attorney.
Okay.
So I approached his office because I wanted to do vacation work, because it was getting to that time where I needed to start thinking about this actual career that I've chosen. And I started there, and things happened, and then they were like, actually, do you want a job?
And then you're
And I
like,
was like, of course,
Sure.
of course I want the job. So I started working before I finished my degree.
Wow.
And then I worked there for a period of 2 years. And then in 2017, yes, I started my articles with another firm here in East London.
so you're a journalist?
No, firm of attorneys, my love.
Oh, so
When I say articles, that's basically-
because there is someone like me who's sitting at home who doesn't. So ngicela nje usi-accommodate nje kancane.
Okay, no problem. E-articles is basically where you as a graduate
Sure.
undergo training, practical training of all the theory that you've been studying for the past 4 years. You're attending court, you're learning how to present yourself in the legal space, in litigation. You're learning about all the things that you're doing in theory and all the rules that you're learning.
So now you're
applying those rules. You are serving documents, you're attending clients, you're taking instructions.
Wow.
Basically getting a practical experience of the profession before you are now bestowed
Wow.
the honor of becoming an attorney
Yeah.
that can practice under your own name and style.
Sure.
So because of circumstances, again, I had to move back to Mntase. That's where I completed my articles, and I got admitted officially as an attorney of the High Court. One of the best days of my life, because I mean, it's what I was working towards for a long time. And it gave me a sense of like pride in myself, because I pushed myself a lot. I pushed myself because amongst anything else that I've always wished to attain, I wanted a life better, not for myself,
Sure.
but also for my children.
Wow.
And so it was a matter of, Kelly, now you're here, what do we do? And like, because of the said businessman that I met, he became a fatherly figure in my life, and he influenced very much me ultimately becoming what I am today. Because aside from training me in the field, like I said, he was a father figure. So it was a good relationship to have. I still speak to him from time to time, even today. And that gentleman, honest to God, there are very few people like him in this world. Very few. So after I got admitted, I decided, you know what? wanna amp up my game.
Before we get into amping up your game, I just want you to take us just a bit back.
Okay.
Also, what made you decide? But okay, now I've matriculated. Now I want to do law because you already know most cool and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be this girl. When again,
Yes.
Tell me you must not shy away from that, yabo. But this is like corruption, but so when did you know that okay, I would really like to pursue law and all of these
I guess it will have to go back to childhood as well, because I was while we were growing up, when I moved back to Mntase, I spent a lot of time with my grandfather.
Okay.
And my grandfather was somewhat of a historian, and he would tell me stories about his politician days and whatnot. I mean, he was not in the forefront affluent person, but he seemingly knew a lot of people that have become influential. When we talk history, we talk about these names, and I was like, Granddad, look at you.
You are doing it, sir.
Exactly. So I think more than anything, what I loved history. I like the attainment of knowledge.
Okay.
I always say to people, I like to consider myself an academic.
Yeah.
Because I like to immerse myself in different types of information so that I can soak it up. I like to be able to get into a different space and be able to hold conversation with different people in that space.
Wow.
And so I've made it one of my pursuits, knowledge, education.
Yeah.
However minute you might think it is, it actually goes a long way, because it's you can never go wrong with knowing something about everything.
Yeah.
You know, being able to walk into a room and not be what's the word I'm looking for? Intimidated. Intimidated by the room because of academic prowess. I thrive on that because I'm like, well, I want you to meet me. I feel when you see, I feel a challenge, especially when it's intellectual. I'm like,
Okay.
Not that I'm trying to be competitive, but I also want to know what can I learn from this person. You know. And for me, I think growing up with that background of my grandfather being a historian and my grandmom as well, she was very into read. Learn, soak up. Unfortunately, she passed on before I could mature.
Okay.
But the consistency of it being applied has run through the course of my siblings and my cousins. It's something that my grandmother instilled in them and has been carried over to us, which I also want to carry over to my children. I only have one though for now. Touchy subjects, but anyway, so in law, I think the finality came of it when I was approaching grade 10. I was like, actually, in as much as there are other things I'm interested in, this particular pursuit of wanting to know all the time, trying to figure out Yonkin Deabon, and let me see what it can do for me. So that's one of the reasons why, actually the biggest reasons why I chose to become a lawyer. Yes.
Wow. And Yambona, she already knew that, okay, in order for me to know and obtain knowledge, I think this is the best space.
Of course.
Because we are evolving. Everything
every
is,
time.
Every day.
Every day.
It's just the new.
And the thing is, with society, like you're saying, with the changing of society comes the changing of laws and the interpretation of that. And it's nice because it keeps you on your toes. It keeps you on your toes. You can never become stagnant as a lawyer. You know, because you're always attaining new things. There's new rules, new everything, you know. Okay. So I like it. I would encourage anybody to join this profession, actually.
Come on, also lapho, you know, abantu bayathetha. Fumaniseka and so kubekhalazana but ingalo yomthetho umthetho waseMzantsi Afrika uweak umthetho South Africa unje mhlawumbe ungabaphendula ukuthina abantu kanjalo abanye abasenathemba
emthethweni. You see, that is it's a bitter pill to swallow. I say this because our law system in South Africa is democratic in one. And second of all, what's the word I'm looking for? Sabaleki singesi nkosi yami. But what I'm trying to say is that ingalo yomthetho iyafikelela apho ifikelela funeka ifikelele khona. But ke ngoku, with that being said, funeka sibavumele aba basezikhundleni to do what they need to do to bring people to book.
Okay.
The problem lies in fundamentally at most times that people seem, A did this. Now they want A to be punished now. But the law comes into play because you need to prove what you are saying. A lot of people say lawyers are liars. No. By definition, we are not liars.
Yeah, and it's not ngolelo.
Exactly. No. Umzekelo, and this is a hypothetical scenario that I'm creating. Someone gets killed in a room full of people. Of course, there's speculation, right?
Yes.
So each one is going to say, I in the Soluban, I in the Soluban, I in the Soluban, I in Soluban.
Someone like Ntonto gets killed.
Someone like Exhibit A. Someone like Ntonto gets killed, right? And then, so does that not say to umntu ke ngokuba kusije ubulele uNtonto? Now ke ngoku istate sizathi siyakubamba CJ. Sikubamba ngoba wena ubulele uNtonto, but she needs defense because nobody can prove that ubulele uNtonto. And when you do prove, you need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that umntu has commissioned the crime that they have been accused. Many a time people have come forward in our legal profession, or in the legal system, in the jail, umntu gets accused and they are put behind bars, and because there needs to be investigations, there needs to be interviews and further investigations, umntu ahlale 2 years etrongweni kanti akenzanga nto. And they said as part of it.
And it's so true, like
exactly.
It's so true. And then it's not easy in there. Bakhona obhuti bethu in our communities whereby ebengumuntu right, ebengumuntu clean, but then they come out of the system proven but no, they are not guilty, and then umntu to me
tamtura guys. I'm not sure wakwayibukela this umdlalo oqongothi Diamond City.
Okay.
Kukho lo mtshutshisi. Yabona umtshutshisi umuntu omthetho but watyholwa ngoba ubulele umuntu. Ukubona but yakulanda ba ungumuntu omthetho but wabedinga umthetho naye. Inasmache umuntu wasemthethweni. You
always noba ukweyiphi profession. That's the one thing I like about the profession here too, is that you can enter any sphere with an LLB degree. Be it you want to pursue criminal
justice,
or the justice, or you want to do human rights, you want to enter into property spaces, you want to enter accounting. You can so being an attorney, or not even being an attorney necessarily, but obtaining a degree of this caliber is actually beneficial for any individual, because it shifts your thought process. It challenges the way you see things, your dynamic as a person, and it's a continuous change because laws are continuously changing, society is continuously changing. So if you want to pursue something, pursue an LLB. And then I'm not saying that just LLB, but I seriously recommend it, because even the medicine profession needs legal representation. Even accountants need. You know, so the thing every field needs representation. They need policy makers. And who makes policies? People who are in tune with the law of the country. South Africa as a country, our legal system, I believe, is a very good one.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that at times that the hand of other people
Yeah.
plays a roles that we are unable to say. You know, everybody knows about corruption in South Africa and whatnot and whatnot. I cannot connect. I shall not get involved. That is not my debate. But honestly, I believe that South Africa has a very good legal system, and its forefront. It just needs to be allowed to operate properly, and it shall become efficiently. You know, I believe so far we've been doing very good. Because I believe we're doing good. And with the role players that are the police, the NPA, and the the bench. We call them the bench. Those are the judges that preside over matters. We have a good judicial system in South Africa. We really do.
So ngalamthethi right.
Never take law into your own hands, because you will get punished more severely, because now someone might have shot me by accident, but when you do it with intention, that speaks of you and your what's the word I'm looking? Your character. Why would you want to harm another human to that extent? It goes back to that whole, as a person, you need to be able to conduct yourself in a manner that is respectable. And it's not easy at times, because it affects you on a personal level and it affects your family. But we need to also remember that when I take part in a criminal act, I not only stand in the way of the law taking its course and doing it myself, you put yourself in jeopardy.
I want to you're speaking a lot about crime.
Sorry, it's just the most relatable thing, because
I feel guilty that I didn't do anything.
I'm sorry, it was not my intention.
I know in law there are different, as you said, there are different categories. I can put it that way. What do you specialize on?
Okay, so backtrack. When I was doing my articles and I got admitted, I decided that I wanted to write conveyancing and notary, because I was like, at the age of 30, I'm going to be an ANC, which is an attorney, a notary, and a conveyancer.
What? ANC?
An ANC. An ANC.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are like, no, it's
I was like, what? And
I was like, at 30, I need to be an ANC, which is an attorney, a notary, and a conveyancer. So conveyancing and notary go hand in hand, because we specialize in the writing up of contracts, whether you're leasing property or plots of land, or you like a servitude. A servitude, how do I explain it? It's it depends what kind of servitude it is, actually. You have your pipeline servitudes, which is for amanzi. Those are contracts that are written up between the municipality and landowners at play. So I specialize more on property law, transferring of property. If you've got queries about property, I'm your girl.
Okay.
We do. That's basically what I focus on. Transferring of property and anything that's got to do with that. That being said, it includes the estates at sometimes where umuntu dies and then she ilifa, affecting the ilifa, affecting wishes.
You are very important. And
oh wow. Unfortunately, the person who is able to say what happens to the money is the person who has passed on through the instrument that we call a will. So I do those things as well. I report estates to the master's office.
Ukubaluleka ngokwenziwe
very
because
very important.
abantu ziyenzeka izinto fumanise
yeah. And mnake andifuna uxabana sana nabantu basekhaya ngenxa yala lokho igama mama.
No, thank you for bringing that up. You know, it's very important to make a will because not only does it affect your wishes from beyond the grave, but then it also ensures that all your descendants are covered the way that you have intended it to become. So I cannot stress the importance of a will, because like Upundonto is saying, we've faced situations in our offices where there is so much infighting in the family because there's no resolution of what must happen to who's what and what not. And if when you take it upon yourself to go to an attorney's office, an accountant, even the banks do them nowadays, where you can say, okay, I want to write up my will, or your attorney keeps it for you, or financial services, so that in the event that you pass on, we know what to do with izinto zakho, the way that you want to do it. And what's nice about iwilke, you can say uCJ makafumana 5%, uNtonto afumana 15%,
uNtonto afumana always more than me. Always appreciate.
I'm just jesting.
Namandla ngowami ude ube ngaphakathi. Amen.
Danger. So but we will baleke kakhulu, and I encourage abamameli bethu ukuthi bayenze iwill. Imnandi ngoba xa seyenzekile, you can chop and change as you will. But of course xa sewuyoyenza ke igqwetha ozabuthetha nalo liza kucacisela kabanzi ngezinto ongakwazi uyuzifaka kwelo. Umzekelo, awukwazi ukuthi unyana wakho hayi uba uchate umuntu obuhlanga ubuthile akazi uyifumana imali yami.
Sure.
You cannot what's the word I'm looking for? Disenfranchise or disinherit umntana because decided actually I don't want to be a soccer player anymore. I want to play rugby.
Sure.
And when I'm Zali, you had great aspirations because you wanted a star that's going to be soccer. You need to be your attorney or the person you're going to be dealing with will be able to guide you better on what you cannot put on. And what's nice about a will is that xa umntanakho umphe ilifa ngalo ndlela ngakumbi xa iyindlu noba imali, in fact uyakwazi ukuthi hayi ke le mali uyifumane apha kum kwenze kuba utshatile in community lo ithi ngoyam eyakho okanye usezawutshata eyam eyakho le mali okanye le ndlu ninika yona ayingeni indawo kamtshato yakho. La mntu uzawuza kuwe angacingi ba uzodlima intsebenzo yami. Yayibona ndithetha imnandi ngelo hlobo.
Sendathafa kukhona usisi wenkomo uzawuphunyelwa zimali.
So umphulaphuli ntam encourage kakhulu kuba yenze iwill umphulaphuli. Yenze iwill noba incinci kangakanani. The moment you have sizable assets, sizable asset doesn't mean imoto okanye indlu. Bune bank balance engati healthy or savings for that matter. You start making a will, and then you are going to change it as you go. Zobanu add what we call a codicil to it, where you are amending provisions of your will until your last dying.
And I thought black
and white, but the only way you don't inherit from a will as umdana is what there's a legal maxim for it.
Sure.
No, it's a maxim. It's called it's in Afrikaans called bloedige hand erfni, which means bloody hands do not inherit.
Okay.
Lado ithi uba unesandla okanye unegalelo ekuswelekeni kwalomntu ngenxa yenzuzo obuzayifumana kuye awusezofumana kwayo.
Sendibulela kwalonto kuba uNtonto kudala ndimona manje endipha amanzi ngingamazi ngawantoni. Before I just want us to get into, because we are artists.
Okay.
Can you please educate us in how the importance of having a legal, and for not a team, but the importance of seeking legal advice and having legal representation.
So los Qhakaza artists asaqhathwa sathini
yabona.
And nontonto manje ngiqhatha ngizele gigs phayana so ndimfuna umfaka amaphepha wami.
Ibaluleke kakhulu CJ into yoba nakompi na umsebenzi ube nayo into ebhalwe phansi. Kakhulu kuni as people who rely on gigs and in the entertainment industry, let me rather say. it might not be that you will have a lengthy relationship with that person, but it works to your favor when you have it in writing. Because when you need to prove anything, you have it in writing. So ibalulekile into yoba xa uzazi uba this is the space that you are going into. Ewe ke ngoku usaqalayo mos you're gonna navigate your way around. But once you get to a certain level of affluence as an entertainment person, I highly suggest that you approach an attorney. You can even have an attorney on contingency basis where you say, okay, I'm going to keep you on this money for we call it a retainer. We're going to keep you retained in our, I as the artist will keep you retained. In the event that I need your services, then you shall provide the services.
So njengobana sorry ngokuqhala nje
No problem.
ne, but njengobana ne kuba cause advert mose TV yazazi mose advert
Yes, yes.
So as advert zithi ne hayi thina sinale service yobana singakunika lawyer ne, but wena every month uzoba uthatha ngento enjalo la retainer into enjalo yobana
it's one of the examples where you ubhatala a monthly subscription yoba mhlambi 100 rand ngenyanga, then ngenyanga, sorry, then ube ne access to igqwetha as and when you need it. The more you grow ke yazazi mos nawe impokotho yakho uba ime njani, and ke ngoku uyayazi ubana ibaluleke kangakanani lento kuwe. Kuba nabo they have the same education that we do, they have the same admissions as we do. But I would also like to say that if uyazazi ba wena you want something engazukusokolisa, sometimes it's best uba uyazi ba unomntu wakho.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Unomntu wakho.
Uba unomntu is like
Unegqwetha lakho.
Not umuntu.
Nothi umntu wam oligqwetha.
No, unegqwetha lakho. You have igqwetha lakho, not umntu wakho oligqwetha. Because there's a certain level of specialization that comes into drafting contracts, and you cannot be careless as an attorney, especially to that magnitude. Because remember, when you write up a contract, you need to make sure that you've covered all the bases, and that in the event that there is a breach from either party, both parties are protected. Or there is a mechanism in the contract that will give a direction as to how to deal with the breach. And in the event that breach has been made, one party has been notified of the breach and they choose not to participate or rectify the situation, what recourse must then follow? If you're going to draft a contract, you need to make it airtight.
Sure.
You need to make it airtight. And unfortunately, we are also human. We are not perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes there are loopholes, not intentionally, but rather get someone that you can say, I can put my money on this person, that, you know what, your experience or word around town that you're the best, you know. Or in fact, sometimes the young people, because they have gusto, they want to learn, they want to impress and build their brands, especially those that have started their own firms. So yes, it's vital to have an attorney.
Akuthethwa kamandi ngani ngamagqwetha ngakumbi xa kufika kumcimbi wemali ka-RAF. Hey, kuvela kuthiwe amagqwetha ayayigqiba imali ka-RAF. Because once uthetha igqwetha umuntu uvela athi yo
athwala izandla.
Yeah.
Okay ke bhuti wami ne indaba yo-RAF namagqwetha, it has been a thorn in the side of upstanding of our very noble and very upstanding profession, because it has come to light that there are a number of attorneys who have partaken in such. And not only is it wrong, but in our profession, it's one of the most gross unethical conducts to misappropriate funds that belong to a client. Are there measures in place? Yes, because once you have suffered that, we have the Legal Practice Council,
Sure.
where you report such an attorney, and an investigation then is undertaken by the Legal Practice Council, and when the attorney is found guilty, they are struck off the roll. When you're struck off the roll, it means that you can no longer practice. There's a court order to that effect. You can no longer practice. You are barred from practicing. Him that I once was. And it's sad because I mean you've worked so hard to attain this great life and try exactly to try and enter into this beautiful profession, and then just one little misguided decision, you lose it. RAF, into amnandi ngayo is that wena as umntu who has claimed,
Sure.
xa uyaphuma imali yakho and khonto oyisolayo, uyakwazi umcontacta directly RAF uthi road accident fund
Khona ngayiqondiyo.
ndiphunyelwa yimali apha qha andizazi noba izibalo zam azibhalansi na okanye kwenze kanjani. Akuxelele kuRAF ba hayi ubuphunyelwe yimali enga, igqwetha lakho ngabo likunike imali engani yabo, so you can check the discrepancy. Now with that said, igqwetha lakho xa likuthatha for imetha kaRAF umzekelo,
Sure.
we usually, and this is the practice, you sign what we call as a contingency fee agreement. That agreement basically, and this is loosely, says that on success of the claim, I as the attorney will charge 25% of whatever you get. And then you shall retain the rest of your money. Now, 25%, it depends on what you got at RAF. Remembering that the attorney is shouldering all the risks involved, because you need to go to certain doctors, you need to go to certain appointments, there's traveling costs, etc., etc., etc. So it's not that we are imali; they are merely reimbursing themselves for the work done.
Okay.
Yo, what I think this was such an educational episode. But before we say goodbye, my lover, goodbye, my friend, what would you say to a young black woman or girl who's sitting at home watching this episode and saying, "Oh, hi, Nam, you're no short base."
Oh wow! You wound me, CJ. You wound me so.
Oh, God, that's jabs. After school is after school. But what would you advise a young female who's sitting at home watching this episode, okanye umntu ofana nam who still has that thoughts about, okay, I still want to go back to school. I am 25. I am 25 and I still want to go back to school, but I don't know if it's the right choice. Is it the right idea? What would you advise someone?
I think the one thing I can tell anybody is that you are your own limitation. And by that I mean, if you will it for your life, then you need to work hard to get it for your life. In terms of pursuing a career, there's never a set time as to when to join or start a career. There are people who have multiple different professions or change from one profession to another because they first did their duty and then now they're pursuing their passion. For me, I would say go for it. Don't ever stop thinking that you are good enough for it, that you are worthy of it, and your success is not solely rested on your shoulders, but you cannot sit and think that success is going to come and get you. You need to go and find your own success.
Wow.
Working hard, dedicating yourself, and having a good circle around you. And by circle, I mean family, friends, that are going to be able to pour into you when you are like, ish, it's getting hard. It's getting hard. You need that. You honestly do. And my most favorite, at the very top of this entire list, in all things, you need to put your plans and commit them to the Lord. Yeah. And when the Lord says it is okay, He will grant you access to everything that you want, because He says in His own book, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all His righteousness, and all things else will be added unto you. So if you pursue God, God knows what you need. He knows what you want. He knows what is lacking in your life. So if you run after Him wholeheartedly, He will add onto you as you progress, as you go, because God sustains us in every situation.
Axakile amagqwetha. Ndifana le mfundiso kangako sibekela yona. You know, and nalomgama owenzileyo ukhe wachaphazela into ethi bozixelele at the age of 30 years uzabe sohambela umgama. Now ndiyafuna uqonda bamhlawumbi ulinenekazi eliliqwetha. Uzibona uphi kwiminyaka ephambili ebheka pha mhlawumbi xa ujongile and then okhuthaza nabanye?
So recently I moved to East London because I received a job offer from a company that's called Mntase Attorneys. The company is based in Cape Town, and we have an office in King Williamstown, which is where I work currently. So in the next 5 years, I see myself, God willing, being a director.
All right.
And that means then, besides the fact that I will have grown in my career, I am going to be hands-on in the running and of the company from here, of course. I see myself being a very, what's the word? I see myself as someone, because of my dedication and work ethic. And when I tell myself something, I work as hard as I can to attain it. Because there's a certain level of I'm proud of myself. Because I'm like, okay, you said that. Look at you taking it off your to-do list. And for abanye abantu will be like, it's my. But for me, it's the small things, because when you grow up the way that I did, prospects of having bright futures is there, but it's not something that you focus on. You're so focused on surviving that iba ngathi ayizukwenzeka ke lento endiyifunayo. But once you cross one threshold, you realize I can do the second one, I can do the third one, and then you build on that. So I use my upbringing as a driving force more than anything to say, you are the only person that is standing in your way, and there's no reason why you cannot achieve this goal. You have done it before, you can do it again, and you're going to work tirelessly. You're gonna complain, you're gonna cry, you're gonna I don't want to do this anymore. But what you're not going to do is give up, because you do not come from a stock or a bloodline that gives up. And I think, I always say to myself when I accomplish something, she'd be so proud of me. Like, what would she be saying now? Look at my daughter. Look at my daughter doing this and doing that and doing that. And I am a firm believer that I let my work do the talking for me. So it's not my thing. Or talk to people or say, hey, this is me, this is what I do. When I said I am the most reserved of my friends group, I mean it. I am the most reserved. So those little victories in private, they are my propelling force, they're my driving force. I make sure that in my own little home, even when I'm in home, in my room, I'll be like, Yazi, there were naysayers saying that you were not going to be doing, look at you, you're doing good.
Okay.
And of course you meet challenges like in the workspace but it's those little small things like me, I like to write sticky notes for myself.
Okay.
In my office, on my table, in my room.
Yeah.
If I have a positive thought for the day,
Sure.
I wake up with that. In the morning, I'll be like, work is calling. And I'll read that.
Yeah.
And I'll say it and say it and say it and say it. When I say it long enough, I'm going to start believing it.
Yeah.
And so it's the small little practices that you put in place for yourself that also build not just you as a person, but the kind of employee or kind of worker that you become. In 5 years' time, I see myself director, a big baller. Okay, jokes aside, but like I really do see myself in that sphere and just, moving.
As if yazibal. And the other said, "Man, when she's up in minute, 5 years."
Okay. I see you guys.
5 years, they're full. And
Anelisa is not married.
Sure.
Okay. She's a bachelorette, ne? But would I like to get married? Yes. Yeah. Is it a pursuit of mine that I'm running after? No.
Okay.
And that's
very
because
very important to know where you are in life.
Because it goes back to lanoni ithethayo uba ndiyakuthanda ufunda mna, ndiyathanda ukwazi. And ke ngoku I think because of experiences that I have in that particular aspect of my life, that I'm saying, you know what, irregardless of whether I get married or not, these particular achievements are mine.
Yeah.
You cannot take them from me. You cannot do anything but stomach
Future hubby. Future hubby.
No, not in a bad way. But what I'm trying to say is, it's okay to say I'm running after my career without a wedding ring on my finger.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with me being a single, successful woman and being able to enter into a room and command it. Yeah. There's nothing wrong.
I sometimes, when I'm alone and in my deep thoughts, and I say, you know what? Marriage is not an achievement.
Thank you. I was just about to say that.
It's not an achievement.
We forget. Marriage is a blessing.
Yes, it's not an achievement.
Not an achievement.
And people now are making it to be an achievement, of which
thank you.
Mntase, I am achieving bandi Mntase. Yeah, the food that I put on my table is my achievement.
No, not that there have not been proposals.
No.
But society yet has made umchato accomplishment more than what it is, which is a blessing. And we put so much pressure on young girls to get married,
have kids,
and have kids. Our tastes are not the same. And this might be contradictory because I myself have a mom. I have an 8-year-old son, and people are like, "Oh, you're gonna want more children? You're gonna," and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And it's okay not to know. It's okay to change your mind as well. Because before I wanted to get married, I was like, me and my husband and my kids, and I was like, yes. But then you get to a certain level of life where you're like, actually, I can do this by myself. And I'm enough by myself. Should it come, thank you, God. If not, nothing is amiss.
Okay.
Namatoho chomya yabanja wethu here and there. Oh, since nasebufundisi but asikhola.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
With that said, what music do you listen to besides gospel?
I have a varying taste in music.
Oh, okay.
me, I grew up in the time of like proper R&B music. So on a Saturday when I'm cleaning my house, I'm listening to old school music.
Sure.
When I boma Aliyah, Tamia, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to Tupac.
Don't bring me roses.
Because I also love rap.
Okay.
Which is kind of like
Okay.
you're
a bit gangster too. You're a bit.
I'm not gangster.
You're a bit gangster, but okay.
I love hip hop music.
Yeah.
But old school. Not currently. I haven't been listening it to a while, but I'll listen to my slow jams. I'll listen to jazz.
Okay.
I'll listen to deep house when I relax, you know. My kids, on the other hand, Baba Medikum, they hear with it. And I'm like, okay, you know, I'm a piano as well, here and there, you know, because I'm like, I need to keep up with the trends. I need to keep up with the trends. But I listen to a variety of music. Me, it's all about what piques my interest.
Sure.
If the sound gets my head shaking, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll listen to the song.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, so yes, I listen to a variety of music.
With that said, we have an artist in studio today.
Oh, we do?
We have SO. Not the SO. Security officer. SO.
No, it's SO.
Yeah.
SO.
Yeah.
SO. That's it. That's
how
how
are
it's
you,
pronounced.
brother?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, chum.
Omngelekile kakhulu koqhakaza Mntase. Mhlawumbe khawusiqale nje ngubani mhlawumbe sesiphikisana nje thina no CJ sesawona kubezi. Who are you?
Igama lami Ayabulela Joba. I'm well known as SO. I'm a rapper from Mntase, from a small township. Yeah, that's what I do. I just rap in Qhakaza because it's actually our daily lives at Qhakaza. I'm just trying to portray how is the township. Yeah.
Sure.
Nice.
He said small, but
It is small compared to to South Africa. Yeah.
So please tell us, what would you be performing for us today, and also what projects are you working on?
Namhlanje I'll be performing Qhakaza. It's a track of mine featuring Flash Kumkani. I recorded it in Sentin, produced by Mello produced it, and it was also engineered by a producer of mine in Val. I met him. He's a good friend of mine. He's called Black Lines. So they helped me to finish this project. I'm also working on an EP of which I'm featuring Flash Kumkani on the song Qhakaza. I chose it as a promotional song for me. So I'm working on an EP titled Siko. I'm dropping it on the 16th of June. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Wow. That's a mouthful. I just want to go back to Anelisa. Can you just please, seeing young talent like next to you like this, what would you encourage him and also our tough beneficiaries and people who are in the arts itself, because you are coming from a more academic standpoint of view, so how would you encourage people like us?
I'll start by saying, you know, the arts and culture space is very diverse in South Africa. We are very fortunate because we have our official languages in South Africa, and with that being said, we need to work collectively as a society to shine light on these young people who have this artistic capability. The reason why we should shine light is because when they have the proper mentoring that they need, they can progress in their careers, but also not fall victim to traps that have been set by society to lead young people to believe that conducting yourself in a certain manner will get you where you need to go. You don't need to partake in drugs and alcohol consumption and all of that to become successful. You can be an artist, you can be a rapper, you can be a painter, you can be a poet, you can be anything you desire to be and still not partake into those things. But because you have the right influences in your life, the right mentorship, the right a group or team around you, you are able to lead a successful life and go further in your career. We need society, and I'm calling on the Arts and Culture Society, in particularly East London, to guide these young people, to show them and pass on the baton onto them and say, you know what, I did it, my guy, I did it, my lady, without compromising myself. Nawe ungakwazi ukuyenza lonto, because kubhlungu ubukela abantwana bencinci bechabalaliswa into efana nezidakamizwa. Kubhlungu ubukela abafana abazemva kwethu siboyike ezindleleni because uzokukhuphela imela ngoba kaloku ufuneka echaye lento ayichayayo. Sidinga obhuti abadala, sidinga osisi abadala to go into these communities and take umntana ngesandla. I believe in contact mentorship. When I say that, I mean I'm in constant talkings with you. What are your plans? How are we executing the plan? What are we doing? Currently, I think I have 4 people that I'm mentoring. And bona ke sebekhulile nonke kunayo umfana lona. But we need uba thina abantu sesigqithile kule age siphinde sibuyele emva sithi ubani nobani ba interested in entweni ethile, ndazi ubani nobani in the space. Bani nobani, here's someone, put them under your wing, because uza kakhe umntana aze kakhle uve ukuthi short curve, and then all that talent down the drain, all that future unrealized, because something very small, an improper judge of the situation or decision compromised mndana when there was no need. So Tina, as these young professionals, we need to say, okay, I got you. You need something, I'm here for you. I might not be able to give you money, but maybe I can give you a contact. I might not be able to take you where you need to go, but I probably know somebody there, you know. So we need, I'd say imbizo. Imbizo. And mazinga biko imbizo that are going to say, let's get the very well known, or let's get imbizo to get these young people to expose them.
In this one, exhibition Thursdays.
Exactly. Get them exposed. But acclimatize it even to the lifestyle. But okay, this is how things work here. Umtu azaz, but and pursue this career. I foresee APCND. And that means umzekelo, there's UCJ, there's Ntondo. I can look up to them and say, Ntondo, you are here, you're doing this. How do you navigate challenging APCND? Because that's what I want to do with my life. CJ, you are this and that, you are a speaker, you are an influencer. How do I get myself noticed?
Me. Very honored by the title.
You know, those little things go a long way, because remember, paying it forward, you're not doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for them, for the generation after them.
Wow.
Asikubiri.
Kanba.
Mandisho ndithi uzaba guest speaker emshadweni wami.
She motivated me. I was motivated as well.
Guys, thank
you for having
us. Can't wait for Qhakaza.
I don't like this part of the show. I really don't like it.
Let's go to. Let's go to game show.
I know, I don't want to go Duke. I don't want to get Duke. With that said, I've learned a lot today. Donda, it's very important in the Yabana. Ube in contact with a lawyer. No matter how also commit a crime, but in all.
Of course,
and also, not as the artist, can't just not bana. Oh, John Bana, din. The influencer, I think the MC. I do also need legal advice at some point. So with that said, I am CJ Odrinelana. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media platforms, or TAF, TAAF on Facebook, and then TAF.EastCape, and also Qhakaza Mntase. Sanitanda, guys.
kanti sibulele nakubaxhasi bethu silulo lutho technologies Phanda Mzansi Smart Diva
Sophistic Furnitures, Captain Joe's, Evolve, X-Rail Studios, and also I meant Babalebo. Qhakaza Mntase.
Niggas are talking and figure gum. Also balego butino gum. Bavusa balele betulekile. Aboni nevuta izana manzi. Insimbilena ndinxibe ice. Diamonds came my ancestors. Itikta mako. Bawundibona. Ngapha kwamafu. Ithema likhona. Yeah, my cousin me on. Thema sikhona ngizobuya nenqoba nemali bekhona. Itikta mako bawundibona. Umphathile imali siphala singoma. Divele monti ngomlingo Dama ngenyawo nifana noringo Ungandiphi isandla Ukuba uyafuna unqamanga Nqoye nemonti sina kangaka Ndizobalekela ngapha Bendiyekela ndingenabhaka Nayo nesenta khona lombhako Ebendinayo yaphapha Ichere ndinayo evi yaphapha Emonti badlala amapetyu Fike Josi ndaphaka ulinyosi Abaliboli yaqoka imensu Sacula kuvume nedlozi Ngine klapini ndinxibe nespeshu Ichere ibethwa ngechefu Impahla sibethwa ngenduku Ngifuna ukotusa kudana bamama Ngasekhaya balala bamama Let me tell you what a funny shit Kutheni ngizaphuma lo mama Wena xa ndiphupha uyanga Vikyani lenzi lisiko Kungelile, thina mina Niggas are talking and figure gum Bazobaleka ubuthini gum Bavusa balele bethulekile Aboni nevuta izana manzi Insimbilena ndinxibe ice Diamonds came my ancestors Itikta mako Bawundibona Ngapha kwamafu Ithema likhona Yeah, my cousin me on Thema sikhona ngizobuya nenqoba nemali bekhona Itikta mako bawundibona Umphathile imali siphala singoma
Ilela bethu lukhulu ungqulu Yeah, ewe liyiba khulu Akhala umkhaki ndikhaba ingubo Vuka ndegumba inyuku Bawunamali khawubamba imizuzu Ethe ekhaya bajonge kum Andinokwazi ukuphola Andinokwazi ukuflowa Ngikhona kubamanzi flow Kalokhu ityani uyaconsa Noba kuthiwani ngizonqoba Soloko nilolo isakhona Phethe ucinga nosinotha Bizi siyasikala lejozi Thina simele isixhosa Ubudisi wakho uyaqoka Industry niggas yaqoka Andinaxesha labo Ngifuna imali nwerich ngongoko Looking sokubola ngisayifuni no more Enye ex yami ngisayifuni noyibona Imeli lali ndikhulele konke Ngaphambili asoza ndihota Take umagriza andiphinde ndimphoxe
Kungelile, thina mina Niggas are talking and figure gum Bazobaleka ubuthini gum Bavusa balele bethulekile Aboni nevuta izana manzi Insimbilena ndinxibe ice Diamonds came my ancestors Itikta mako Bawundibona Ngapha kwamafu Ithema likhona Yeah, my cousin me on Thema sikhona ngizobuya nenqoba nemali bekhona Itikta mako bawundibona Umphathile imali siphala singoma